Thank you, Chairman Tonko. The various challenges to recycling discussed today have sparked innovative policy solutions at the local and state levels. And these solutions, like extended producer responsibility and container deposit programs, can be scaled up and replicated across the country. So the bipartisan infrastructure law was mentioned provided 350 million that can fund improvements to recycling infrastructure. So I wanted to start with Mr. Alloway. From your perspective, how can federal funding for recycling programs support improvements already underway at the state and local level?
Thank you, Chair Pallone. The financial needs of the recycling system at the local and state level are at least an order of magnitude and possibly two orders of magnitude more than the funds provided in the Federal Infrastructure Act. So it's very helpful, and I would hope that Congress would view that with the understanding that because of the generally unfavorable economics of recycling, which is a consequence of market prices failing to account for social costs, the economic needs of the recycling system are much larger than what was provided in the grants program. As some of the other speakers have said, and I would agree, the needs of the recycling system across the country vary from community to community. Recycling is very different in different communities. There are, however, some commonalities. There is generally a lack of collection opportunity for many households as well as businesses in this country. So there are opportunities to improve access to collection. Very importantly, the processing facilities, which sort out the commingled recyclables, excuse me, are generally under invested and undercapitalized, and there are important gains that can be realized by improving those processing facilities. I would also mention that EPA and many states have adopted a waste management hierarchy that prioritizes prevention and reuse over recycling because of the superior environmental benefits. And there is significant environmental potential that can be realized through simple prevention techniques, such as providing infrastructure that allows people to drink tap water as opposed to relying on single-use disposable bottles. Thank you.
Right. I want to ask you another question because in my Clean Future Act, we have a language that creates a variety of incentives for recycled material, like post-consumer recycled content standards and extended producer responsibility program. And I think these policies would help expand markets for recycled materials by making it more economical for manufacturers to use recycled content compared to new or virgin materials. So let me ask you briefly, because I have another question. Your testimony echoes a similar message, but briefly, what kind of federal policies would be most effective and impactful to provide incentives for recycled material?
Chairman, I would agree that both extended producer and responsibility and post-consumer recycled mandates, if carefully and thoughtfully designed, would create incentives to provide and increase markets for recycled materials.
All right, thanks. And then let me ask last, Mr. Irwin, in your testimony, you highlight the business case for investing in alternatives to single-use and virgin plastics. How can federal policy complement and accelerate this type of market shift, if you will?
Thank you for the question, Chairman Pallone. So right now, most businesses have voluntarily pledged to do this work, and that accounts for only about 20% of consumer markets at this time. We need policy to put everyone in the room to come to solutions together and put this funding and these objectives together so they can adopt these standards and circulate innovation across the value chain and across the industry.
All right, thanks so much. I see my friend Billy Johnson. I didn't have a question for you, but I do want to thank you for being here today and to all you do, to promote the industry. I really think, as I said, I chair the recycling caucus, and I don't chair too many things other than this committee, but I do it because it's very important, I think, for us to continue to try to promote recycling and do it in a bipartisan way. I know there are some disagreements that obviously we can see today, but I definitely think this is something where Democrats and Republicans can work together to make a difference and something that, brings people to actually participate in ways to improve the environment. So let's just continue to work together and see how we can move forward in a positive way. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Pallone. The gentleman yields back. You're most welcome. The chair now recognizes Mrs. Rogers, Representative Rogers,